Golden State Media Concepts Sci-Fi Podcast. Together we dive into the world of sci-fi and science fiction. From episodes of Star Trek, Star Wars, to The Walking Dead, Resident Evil, all the hot new science fiction movies from the backdoors of Marvel or DC. The Golden State Media Concepts Sci-Fi Podcast. You'll never look at science fiction the same way again.
Hello there, everybody. This is Jay, back for more sci-fi news. Another episode of the GSMC Sci-Fi Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. So, let's jump right into another really cool Marvel trailer that we got this week. Was actually the Captain Marvel trailer number 2. So this film, I believe, takes place in the 80s or the 90s when, of course, Nick Fury is younger. And I think we see it was either this trailer or the first trailer where he was almost ready to quit S.H.I.E.L.D. He's like, you know what, the heck with this. I've done this job. I'm just kind of getting sick and tired of it and just don't really want to do it anymore. And, Captain Marvel is this female character, supposedly really one of the strongest characters in the MCU, supposedly. And so we already got a trailer for this movie, so maybe you're asking, why should I watch this one? Why is this trailer relevant? What's in this trailer that wasn't in the last trailer? Well, that's a very good question. For starters, we get to see some of the, I believe they're called the Krull or the Skrull in this, so we get to see that villain, which I believe was talked about a villain in this movie, but we actually get to see it this time. We get to see actually more of Captain Marvel's past, her human life and kind of life she lived before. So we get to see that. So it's kind of got a RoboCop feel in there where it's like, hey, she's Captain Marvel now, but she had a life before that, which is really kind of interesting. And we get to see a lot more action scenes. We get to see, I think, more of the organization she's a part of and how she gets her powers and the training and things like that. And there's a lot of fight scenes, a lot of action scenes, and it just kind of really gives you a bit of a better feel of the character Captain Marvel themselves, right? Who they are, who they used to be, and really kind of who, they may one day become, right? That's kind of what this trailer is. So it's, in that respect, it's a trailer that, gives you a bit more of a taste of this movie, gives you some scenes in this movie that you hadn't seen before in the first trailer. And just gives you a little bit of an idea of, what this movie is, what's going to be happening. And I guess also, I personally like this because I'm not always a big Marvel comic reader. I'm just not. I haven't really read them. It's not that I'm against them or I don't like them. It's nothing like that. I just haven't really had a chance to read many Marvel comics. It's just the truth. So I like in this trailer where you get to hear, a bit about this person's backstory. That's really kind of cool because I think especially with a first film in a series for a character, it's a good idea to have that in there a bit. You don't really necessarily have to overdo it or spend a gargantuan part of said film to do that. But to show, hey, this person was at one time someone else, and then, something happened to them, and it looks like in this trailer she gets chosen to be a part of this organization. I believe there's some kind of galactic protectors, and we get to see her suit first, and kind of how it changes toward the end of the trailer. We get to see some more of her power in action and how strong she's going to be, and what's also nice about this trailer is I think it shows you that she kind of has a moral dilemma going on. It's like I think the organization she joins or the corps she joins have a different agenda than what she wants to use her powers for. Now this isn't brand new. Many superhero films have done this before. Heck, Ghost Rider did that. So it's not brand new, but it's kind of cool to see that where it's like, hey, the powers they get are for a different purpose than the purpose they want to use them, but they kind of go, well, wait a minute though, I don't want to use my powers for this, I'm going to use my powers for that. So that's kind of cool. I'm not completely unfamiliar with Captain Marvel because on Marvel Avengers, personally Black Panther's quest, she has shown up on there a couple of times. And yeah, she is very powerful, she is very, strong, and she can usually give most of the other Avengers a run for their money because she's just a really, really powerful character. You know, her powers and her abilities are, I don't know if anyone or many people in the MCU, as far at least on the Avengers side, are able to go toe to toe with her and win. I don't think that's necessarily a possibility. So so this is a really, really good trailer. Like I said, it's a second trailer, so it does give you some new scenes you didn't see in the first trailer. And like I said, the big thing about this trailer is it gives you an idea of, you know, this character's origin, you know, who they were before they became Captain Marvel, is kind of a big part of this trailer, honestly. It really is. It's like, you know, it's not just, hey, you know, normal woman into the Captain Marvel. No. There's more to it than that. I don't think we see Coulson in this yet, and I don't believe we did in the last trailer either. But Coulson is supposed to be in this movie, so maybe in the next trailer we'll get to see him. It's a possibility. And we get to see, I think, a few new cast members we hadn't seen before in this trailer, which is kind of cool. And like I said, it's got a lot of action and fight scenes and things like that, and showing off Captain Marvel's powers. So, if you have not seen this trailer yet, I would highly recommend checking it out. It's a pretty cool trailer. There's a lot going on there, and it kind of gives you, you know, another taste of this film. And if you're like me, it'll get you a bit more excited for this film and looking forward to seeing this film. So, and of course, we still have a bit of time before this film itself actually comes out. So, on that note, you know, there may be more that we may see in the next trailer that we haven't seen in this trailer yet, kind of like it was with the first trailer and the second trailer. But personally, I'm very excited for this movie. It's kind of cool to see characters like this. I mean, we've had a few movies like this, like Wonder Woman, and a few other films like that. There have been, like, you know, strong female characters, but it still kind of like hasn't happened a whole lot. Whereas, like, hey, the main character is a woman. It's just the truth. It hasn't happened. So it's kind of cool to see this happen. And it looks like MCU and Marvel's track record so far, I think, is really, really good. Even their films that weren't as strong as some of their other films are still good films. They're still fun films. They're still films I'll gladly watch more than once. So I have faith personally in the MCU and Disney and Marvel, and I think this film is going to be a really good film. I mean that. And I believe it hasn't been confirmed, but Captain Marvel themselves will have an important part to play in Avengers Endgame. What part? I don't really know. There's speculation and what's happened in the comics, what I've heard have happened in the comics, but I've kind of realized, you know what, until you see it yourself or, you know, something like that, I wouldn't believe it. Oh yeah, and one kind of little side note of Marvel news, which is kind of interesting, is so it went online at one time months ago that, hey, you know, Loki had survived an Infinity War, and now it's online that I guess he didn't survive after all. So that's kind of a little odd side note there of where I guess Loki is dead for good, I guess. But Loki fans, don't worry. Another really quick Marvel news is that Loki is going to have his own live-action show where Tom Hiddleston, I believe, is going to be on it on Disney+. So don't worry, even if Loki's not in the MCU anymore, it does not mean Loki is gone and there's no more Loki. So don't worry about that. So this film comes out March 2019, which may seem a little ways away, but hey, December's flying by quick, and you know what? It'll probably be here before you know it. So I personally am looking forward to it, and like I said, if you haven't had a chance to watch this trailer yet, it is on YouTube now. So it's that time of year when people are usually thinking about thoughtful gifts. If you are so you should think about giving the gift of an Audible membership. Now is the best time to do it with this wonderful special offer. So you're able to access an unbeatable selection of audiobooks, including bestsellers, motivational stories, mysteries, thrillers, memoirs, and more. You can choose 3 titles every month, 1 audiobook, and 2 Audible originals you can't hear anywhere else. You can listen on any device, anytime, anywhere, which means, like, you know, cell phones, tablets, laptops, all those wonderful devices, and when you're at the gym or on your commute or just anywhere else on the go. You'll also get to enjoy easy audiobook exchanges, rollover credits, and an audiobook library you can keep forever, even if you one day do choose to cancel your Audible membership. Right now, for limited time, you can get 3 months Audible for just $6.95 a month. That's more than half off the regular price. I did actually see on Audible they have all the Harry Potter books, and that means you can read Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban on here. It's narrated by Jim Dale. I personally love this series of books. This series of books got me back into reading. It's an amazing series. If you haven't had a chance to read them before, absolutely I'd recommend checking them out on here, this one especially. And if you have, again, you get to listen to them again, narrated by Jim Dale. So it's really, really cool that they have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban on there. So give yourself the gift of listening. And while you're at it, think about giving the gift of Audible to someone on your list. For more, go to audible.com/GSMC SciFi or text GSMC SciFi to 500 500. Hello there, everybody. This is Jay, back with some more sci-fi news. So, there is a show on Netflix that I happened to just stumble upon, maybe 1-2 years ago now, called Neo Yokio. It's an anime. It's only got like 6 episodes. The cast list is insane. It's got Jaden Smith in it, Susan Sarandon, Jason Schwartzman, just a bunch of other names. And I remember when I watched this show, I'm not really a huge anime fan usually. I can't say anime, I'm really big on it, really excited about it, and I watch it all the time. I just can't say that. But I decided to give this show a shot. It takes place in Neo Yokio. I don't know if it's in modern times or in the near future. We know it's really big on, the people there are really big on fashion. There's Magistocrats, which Kaz Khan, voiced by Jaden Smith, is one of them. And they go around, fighting demons and doing it for profit and things like that. And, he's got a robot butler, and which ends up having an old woman in it, controlling it. It's definitely, in a nutshell, I can't say it's a bad show by any means, but it's definitely different. It's different than, I want to say, most animes out there. It just really is. So, about a month ago, I heard about, I saw that, they're doing a Christmas episode of Neo Yokio called Neo Yokio Pink Christmas. So, I was able to watch this, and I'm going to, talk about it on here a little bit. So, it's the holidays in Neo Yokio. There's the bachelor board still. There's a secret Santa gift exchange where Kaz is worrying about trying to find the right gift for Archangelo, which is at the top of the bachelor board, and he's trying to get the perfect gift for him. So they're very big in here about getting expensive stuff and spending a lot of money and things like that. And it's basically where he's worrying all about this and trying to get that. And of course, while this is going on, a demon finds its way into Neo Yokio, and really, Kaz Khan just really wants to enjoy the holidays. He's got his other aunt coming over, his Susan Sarandon's character's sister coming by to visit, and he's excited to see her. Susan Sarandon's character is not. They don't get along that well. They have very different views on a lot of different things, and like I said, a demon comes in Neo Yokio, and it's kind of, his job to take care of it. And it's definitely an interesting episode, let's put it that way. The animation is really good as it was in previous. It's not always clear what's going to happen, which is kind of nice. It's not always predictable or expected. The way it begins is actually kind of cool. I didn't really expect it to go that way, but it was kind of fun. And there's some interesting moments of animation in here where things are going on with the Kaz or other characters. How said demon comes around is really interesting. Kaz learns a little bit about himself and maybe his past, his lineage, things like that in this episode, which is pretty cool. There's some really good, moments of magic, which is kind of nice. It's a very dangerous threat, that's for sure. It really, really is. And there's a few musical numbers that are actually kind of fun. There's a few in here, which I guess for a Christmas special, that's normally, expected. But, it was interesting. I enjoyed it. I mean, I can't say I'd watch it, time and time and time again, and that'll be the next Christmas classic. I don't know. But it's just because, for me, it's definitely such a different show. And really, in a nutshell, it's what do you expect of a Christmas special for this show? I'm not shocked, like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that, or I can't believe this happened. No, not really. If I'm being fully honest, I'm not surprised. It's just, and I hadn't watched the show for a while, so I was like, okay, that's right, this is normal with the show normally, but if you were one of the people who didn't like Neo Yokio, you'll definitely like this. You really will. You'll enjoy this holiday special. I mean that. Like I said, the cast list, the voiceover list for this, and the guest list is really, really big. It's kind of, an example of the holidays at its worst, I guess, kind of what it is. The holiday message itself actually isn't too bad. A little silly, but overall not bad. And, I enjoyed it. It was a fun holiday special. I'm glad I got to watch it. I really mean that. And, just know that I would suggest before you watch this, watch Neo Yokio on Netflix first. It only has 6 episodes. They're about 20-something minutes each. Shouldn't take too long to burn through those. And if you enjoy those, then yes, check out this holiday special. If you like that show, you'll enjoy this. But if you watch an episode or two and you're like, hey, this is an okay show, but it's not really for me, then you're not going to miss out too much if you don't check out this holiday special. It's just the reality, It's not going to be something that I think everybody's going to enjoy, but I think if you're a fan of anime, you might enjoy this show. I think it's a possibility, but I don't even think every anime fan's going to go nuts for it. I don't know. Like I said, it's hard for me to say such things because I myself am not a huge anime fan. I'm just not. It's just the reality. It's just the way it is. But with that being said, I had fun watching it. It was kind of cool to get to watch it. And I'm not sure if this show is going to get a season 2 yet. I don't know. It almost seems like this holiday special may kind of be, where Netflix go, okay, should we do more of this show? Or should we just kind of hey, we did the one season and the holiday episode and that was that. So I think that this holiday special, depending on how well it does and the reception, may kind of be the tipping point of should we do more or should we not do more. So yeah, it's definitely a different holiday special. It's a fun little holiday special. And I would say you might enjoy it. You might. It won't be for everybody, but I think some people have fun with it. Some people enjoy it. I think that I really do. And like I said, the cast, the people they have voicing the characters are some really well-known names. Really popular names, and it's only about I think 20-30 minutes, so it's not necessarily a superbly crazy long holiday special. It's not. It really isn't. And like I said, the way it starts and ends makes sense. It's kind of fun, a little unexpected, seems a little peculiar at first, but it fit. It really did. I enjoyed it. So it is available on Netflix now. So I would just highly recommend give it a chance, but it might not be a terrible idea to try a few episodes of season 1 first, which those are also, of course, on Netflix. Like I said, there's only 6 episodes. They're about 20-something minutes each. So sink your teeth into those first, and if you really do enjoy those, then yes, you will love this holiday special. I mean that, I really do. And I personally do. I hope that Netflix does a season 2, but we'll see, I think, is how it is. Because it seems like nowadays Netflix usually likes to do 2 seasons of their shows. It seems that way, but I don't think it's always set in stone. Hey, if they do a season 1 of a show, they're doing a season 2. Not necessarily. So, check that out. And, That's all I really have to say about that. It's the time of year when everyone is thinking about thoughtful gifts. So you should think about giving yourself the gift of an Audible membership. And now is the best time to do it with a fantastic special offer. You have access to an unbeatable selection of audiobooks, including bestsellers, motivation, mysteries, thrillers, memoirs, and oh so much more. You're allowed to choose 3 titles every month, 1 audiobook, and 2 Audible originals that you won't be able to hear anywhere else. You can listen on any device, anytime, anywhere, at home, at the gym, on your commute, or just on the go. You'll also enjoy easy audiobook exchanges, rollover credits, and an audiobook library you can keep forever, even if you do one day choose to cancel your membership. They also have on Audible, this is another book I'd highly recommend. It's a book that I really love. I actually just watched the movie again recently, but the book itself is just able to tell so much the movie can't, is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. That's right, this is on Audible right now. It is narrated by Jim Dale. And I would totally recommend checking this book out. If you've read it, this is a fun way to listen to it. Jim Dale does a great job narrating it. And if you haven't read this series before, really all the books are available on there. But this is one I think is a really great part of the series. A lot happens in this series that changes the series afterwards, and it's one I'd highly recommend. So right now, for a limited time, you can get 3 months Audible for just $6.95 a month. That's more than half off the regular price. Go to audible.com/GSMC SciFi or text GSMC SciFi to 500 to get started. Hello there, everybody. This is Jay, back for some more sci-fi news. So, of course, with it being December, and with the holidays being here in about a couple weeks, or at least with Christmas being here in a couple weeks, we got ourselves another new Ducktales episode. This one came out only about a week or so ago. And it's the next most recent episode for season 2. I don't believe there's another one coming at least in the next week or two. And this is called Last Christmas. So in a nod to Mickey's Christmas Carol, Scrooge avoids the pressures of the holidays by traveling back in time with a trio of fun-loving ghosts to crash history's greatest Christmas parties instead. Meanwhile, time-lost Dewey teams up with young Donald Duck to find his mom on Christmas. Now, Jack McBrayer, who I think actually was Fix-It Felix in Wreck-It Ralph and Ralph Breaks the Internet, is the fun-loving ghost Pass, which is... So the 3 ghosts are... Pass is a little cricket with a umbrella that helps him travel back in time. Ghost of Christmas Present is a pig. And Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come is just a, big, tall creature in a cloak. So, what happens on this episode is, the holidays are around, Scrooge doesn't seem too excited about it, and I believe, I want to say Huey or Dewey stumbles upon him with the 3 spirits, and he kind of tags along, unbeknownst to Scrooge, where they end up taking him first to his first Christmas party for McDuck Enterprises when he was younger. Agent 22, Mrs. Beakley was younger. Duckworth was still alive. So he goes back to this, but he's kind of bummed because he doesn't see this as that relaxing, especially with the fact that some people think it's him. Although there's a funny scene where past him and future him, just kind of nod at each other. They don't really trip about it, which is kind of funny. And he decides next, he wants to go back to the past again. And so he gets taken to his first Christmas in Duckburg, where he's just in a tent. And he decides to leave Ghost of Christmas Past behind and take his little umbrella. Now, meanwhile, after this all happens, where, the past ghost, thinks that, oh, he'll be back, we get to see where Dewey actually fell off at that second part and bumps into teenage Donald Duck, which is funny because he's kind of like, got that want to be a rocker feel, and, I don't really care about the world feel, and playing the guitar, which I don't think Dewey expected to see, which is kind of funny. It might be Huey. Yeah, Huey didn't expect to see. But he is excited he's back there because he wants to see his mom, because all of last season, they were afraid that there's their mom even still alive or not. Huey, Dewey, and Louie all had this fear going on. And it was a big mystery for a good chunk of the, season. Is she still alive or not? We got a cliffhanger at the end where, yes, she still was, if you can believe that. And so he gets to spend, the holiday with her and Donald a little bit. This Wendigo shows up, which is this, really dangerous creature, but it wants Scrooge, and they're not sure where Scrooge is. We get to see as it moves along, that he stops the Wendigo. It's actually the ghost of past in there. And, so Dewey kind of gets what he wants, and in the end, Scrooge kind of realizes, hey, what is really important because it is spending it with my family, so he decides he's not going to use the, ghosts anymore to just avoid his family because he realizes how, lucky he is to have them, right? That's just the truth. So it's a good holiday episode. It is. It's got some good humor moments. It's got a few nice little twists and turns in there. It has a really good holiday message. It does. And it's a really fun holiday episode. I really enjoyed it. It was really kind of cool just, and like what they did for the Three Spirits is really cool. And like I said, getting to see teenage Donald and Della was really, really cool. It was really fun to get to see that, and a younger, Agent 22 and Duckworth. So, there's a lot of cool little things there like that. And there's actually a really cool little scene toward the end, because we see Della, on the moon at the very, very end, and I think she's trying to find a way back to Earth. So, overall, it's a really good episode. I really do like this show. I do. I think I've said on here before, it's not as good as the 80s show. It's just not. But what is good about this show, and it shows up on many of the episodes and with the actors' portrayals of their characters, is that most everyone behind this thing is fans of the 80s show. So they, of course, wanted to do the 80s show justice with this new show. But at the same time, they wanted to make it their own and put, new elements in there that just wouldn't have worked in the 80s because, back then things were different than they are now. So, yeah, it's a really good episode. It's a really fun episode. It's a holiday episode that I think you'd expect for this show. You would, because it can't just be a normal, simple, easygoing episode. It's got to have some twists and turns and adventure and excitement in there. And, yeah, overall, it's just a really fun episode. It is available on Disney Channel now, so you can watch it on there. And you wouldn't really necessarily have to watch the previous episodes or previous episodes of this season to understand what's happening here. You don't really have to. I mean, you can if you want to. They're only usually about 20-something minute episodes, so you can if you want to, but I wouldn't say you have to understand what's going on here. For the most part, you don't. It's a show. It's an episode that can stand on its own from the other ones. But like I said, it does leave a really cool cliffhanger at the end with Della, where it's like, hey, we get to see her again with her long hair because she's been on the moon for a while, survived somehow. We don't really know the answer to that yet. And I think she wants to try to find a way to get back to her home, to her family, to her kids. So that's really, really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing where this season goes next. I know that the season isn't over yet. It might just, be taking a break for however many months until maybe the new year, but that is just my speculation. It hasn't been thrown out there yet that, they're doing this and that's what's happening and, prepare. No, it's not happening. Not yet anyway. So, but, yeah, I think it's a good, fun episode. It is, and it's an enjoyable episode. And, yeah, fans of this show, I think will enjoy it. I really do. I mean that. So that's all the sci-fi info we have for you at this time. I hope you had a lot of fun hearing all this really cool stuff. I had a lot of fun bringing it to you. I really did. I mean that. And but don't worry, we will be back real soon with more sci-fi news. We'll be here again before you know it. And we'll definitely have plenty more stuff to talk about. So other than that, have yourself a wonderful rest of the day, and I'll talk to you all later, sooner than you know it.